Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at something I think we all use every single day,
Yeah.
whether we realize it or not: branding
Yes.
and positioning. And we've got this great paper called Understanding Branding and Positioning.
Hmm?
And I thought it would be really interesting to take a look at it.
Yeah, great topic.
And, one of the things that's really interesting about branding is that, strong branding, we all know
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
can mean big money.
It can.
But the thing that I find really fascinating about branding is that emotions actually play a big role.
Oh, absolutely.
So are you ready to kind of jump in and see why that is?
I am. I'm very interested to dig into this with you. I think it's a great topic.
Yeah, yeah. So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What is branding?
Right.
Really?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What is it?
And this paper makes it clear that it's much more than just like a catchy logo
Yeah.
or a tagline. It's deeper than that.
So it's not just the visuals.
No, it's not just the visuals.
So what's the deeper meaning?
It's about the feeling a company cultivates
Okay.
in your mind as a consumer.
I see.
Think about Apple. Their brand is not just tech.
Mm-hmm.
It's innovation, it's sleek design, and yes, even that premium feeling.
Yeah, like you're buying into a lifestyle or something.
Exactly.
They're
You're just buying a phone.
not just a product.
You're buying into their whole identity.
It's a whole identity, and it's fascinating how companies can create such strong associations in our minds with these brands.
Yeah.
But it's not all about feelings, though.
Okay.
That's where positioning comes in.
Right.
And this paper describes it as carving out a unique space in the market.
Okay. So it's like you're choosing your lane.
Yeah.
So branding is like your personality.
Your persona.
And then positioning is kind of where you stand in the crowd. Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Think Volvo, safety,
Uh-huh.
Tesla, sustainability.
Uh-huh.
So you have to know your audience.
Right.
And you have to be different in a way that matters to them.
So it's about being different, but for a reason.
Yeah, for a reason.
Yeah. But why should I care about
Yeah.
all this? Like, I'm not running some Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, good question. That's a good question. And that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because this paper highlights some serious benefits to strong branding.
Mm-hmm.
And these aren't just for CEOs.
Okay.
So first of all, it helps you stand out,
Okay.
especially in a crowded market.
That makes sense. I mean, it's like if you walk into a store, right? And there's just like tons of different options
Exactly.
for everything.
Yeah.
And you might not be drawn to anything specific, but then you see that familiar brand.
Exactly. And that's the one you end up choosing, right?
And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I trust that, Or I've heard of that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one I'm familiar with.
That makes a difference.
That trust leads to loyalty,
Okay.
which is another huge perk.
Okay.
And the paper points out that consistent branding builds trust over time.
You're right.
So you don't need to be constantly fighting for new customers.
Right. Right. So you're saving time and money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the long run.
In the long run. Okay. So what's not to love?
Right.
So this paper also mentions something that I found really fascinating.
Okay.
It mentions higher prices.
Yes.
So tell me more about that. How does that work?
It's true. Strong brands can actually command premium pricing
Okay.
because of the value they've built up.
Uh-huh.
So think about Nike, right? You're not just paying for the shoe,
Right.
you're paying for the quality. And you're also paying for that association with athletic excellence.
Okay. So you're basically paying for the brand's reputation
Exactly. Yeah.
on top of the actual product itself.
Yeah, you're paying for the brand on
Right.
top of the product. And it's pretty clever when you think about
That's
it.
pretty clever.
And this ties into another benefit. Strong branding actually makes your marketing more effective.
That makes sense.
People are more receptive to a message that aligns with a brand that they already trust.
Right. Like you're more likely to buy something
Yeah, exactly.
from a company that you already, like and respect and all that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this paper also mentions an emotional connection with customers.
Yeah.
Is that what leads to those diehard fans?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Who will buy anything that company puts out?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. That emotional connection
Hmm.
often leads to those strong, loyal relationships
Right.
that companies crave. It goes way beyond, just a transaction.
Right. It's like you're part of something.
Exactly. You're part of a community.
You're part of the club almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So this is all super insightful, but
Oh.
how do you actually create a strong brand?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't
Yeah.
it?
How do you do it?
Well, their paper mentions something called a unique value proposition,
Okay.
or a UVP,
UVP.
and I think that's part of that's part of the secret sauce.
Okay. So what is that?
It's basically a clear statement of what problem you solve,
Yeah.
how you're better than the competition,
Okay.
and why someone should choose you over all the other options out there.
So it's like your elevator pitch almost.
Exactly. Short, sweet, to the point.
Short, sweet, to the point. Okay. So what makes a good UVP though?
Well, this paper breaks down 4 key elements.
Yeah.
So there's clarity,
Okay.
relevance,
Uh-huh.
differentiation,
Okay.
and credibility.
Okay. I like it.
Um, and I think Uber's early UVP, tap a
Yeah.
button, get a ride, is a
Yeah.
perfect example. It's simple, it's relevant,
Yeah.
and it highlights how they're different from traditional taxis.
Yeah. It's super clear.
Yeah,
Very
convenient,
Yeah.
like gets the point across instantly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But how do they fit together? Like, how do they all work?
Well, this paper emphasizes that branding and positioning go hand in hand
Okay.
to create a powerful brand
Mhm.
experience.
Okay. So it's not just one or the other.
No, it's not just one or the other, it's both.
It's a combination.
It's a combination,
So
yeah.
it's like a recipe. Like you need the right ingredients
Yeah. You need the right ingredients
in the right amount
in the right amount.
to make it work.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. So are there any examples of brands that are nailing this combo?
Oh, tons.
Yeah.
But Coca-Cola
Okay.
is a classic example. I think
Yeah.
they've woven happiness and togetherness into everything they do,
Right.
from the ads to the packaging.
Right.
You don't just drink a Coke, you buy into a feeling.
Yeah, that's true. They've really mastered the art of aligning their branding and their positioning to create a cohesive brand identity. We've covered a lot of ground already. I'm ready to go deeper.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Let's do it. Coca-Cola. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're an interesting case study, aren't they?
Yeah.
It really shows how a brand can become more than just a product.
Yeah.
It's an experience, you know.
Yeah, it's like you're not
Huge.
you're not even buying a drink anymore. You're buying a feeling.
Exactly.
But I have a question though.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about what branding is.
Yeah.
But how does this apply to me? Like
Right.
I'm not, running Coca-Cola. I'm not.
Right. That's a great question. And I think that's where things get really practical.
Okay.
Because whether you're prepping for a big meeting,
Mhm.
analyzing a competitor, or
Yeah.
even thinking about, launching your own project,
Yeah.
understanding branding gives you a serious edge.
Okay, so it's not just for big companies with marketing departments and stuff.
No, absolutely not. It's relevant for anyone who's just trying to be more informed,
Okay.
more savvy
Mhm.
about how the world works. Imagine you're in that meeting
Mm-hmm.
and you need to impress with your marketing know-how.
Right.
Well, understanding branding lets you analyze companies
Mm-hmm.
and see why their strategies work or don't.
So it's almost like you have like X-ray vision into the
That's a great way to put it.
the company's,
Yeah.
inner workings.
Yeah, you can see beyond the surface and you can understand those deeper mechanics.
Yeah, yeah. I like that.
And if you're thinking about starting your own thing,
Uh-huh.
branding is crucial.
Yeah.
I mean, in a world full of noise, it's how you stand out.
That's how you get noticed.
Exactly. It's like a signal flare
Yeah.
in a crowded marketplace.
Yeah. Okay. So where do you even begin?
Right. Well, remember those 4 elements of a strong UVP we talked about.
Yeah. Clarity, relevance, differentiation, and credibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those aren't just for taglines.
Right.
This paper suggests using them as a framework for building your brand.
Okay. So it's like a blueprint.
As a blueprint, yeah.
Okay. So how do you apply those to a personal brand?
Okay, we'll start by identifying your target audience.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you trying to reach?
Right.
What are their needs?
Okay.
Then analyze the competition. What are they doing well? What are their weaknesses?
So it's like a SWOT analysis
Yeah,
for your brand.
exactly. Yeah. You're figuring out where you fit in,
Yeah.
what makes you unique,
Right.
focus on your unique value,
Yeah.
what problem do you solve
Okay.
better than anyone else, and make sure your claims are believable.
Right.
Back them up with evidence or testimonials.
Okay, so even if you're not, selling a product, it's about figuring out what you bring to the table
Exactly.
and how to communicate it.
Yeah. And whether you're networking, interviewing,
Yeah.
building an online presence,
Yeah.
understanding your unique value is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it's like you're crafting a story almost.
It is. It's storytelling.
That kind of highlights your skills and your experience and what you can do.
Absolutely.
This all sounds like a lot of work though. Is there a shortcut?
Well, I think the key is consistency.
Okay.
Um, Everything you do should reinforce your brand identity,
Hmm.
how you communicate, the content you create, the experiences you deliver. It's all connected.
So it's like building a house,
Yeah,
brick by brick.
brick by brick.
Each interaction, each post adds to the overall
It's a great analogy.
structure, yeah.
And over time, that consistency builds trust,
Mhm.
loyalty, which, as we discussed earlier, are essential for long-term success.
Right. It's not a quick fix. It's more of a long
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
marathon. Yeah, yeah. Okay. But are there any downsides to strong branding?
That's a good question.
Could it backfire?
Yeah, it definitely could.
Right.
And the paper emphasizes authenticity.
Okay.
If your brand is built on false promises
Mm-hmm.
or a manufactured image,
Right.
it won't last. People can spot a fake
Right.
from a mile away these days.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not just about, like projecting a certain image.
Correct.
It's about, really being genuine and
Yeah.
aligning your actions with your values.
Exactly. Consumers are savvy.
Yeah.
They want to connect with brands that are real, relatable,
Mm-hmm.
transparent,
Yeah.
and authenticity builds trust,
Okay.
which is the foundation of any lasting relationship.
So it's like any relationship, really. Honesty and transparency
Exactly.
are key.
Okay.
But even the best brands need to evolve, right? Like what worked 5 years ago might not work today.
Absolutely. The market is constantly changing.
Right.
And successful brands, they adapt. They monitor trends. They listen to feedback.
Mhm.
They adjust their strategies.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing.
Definitely not. It's an ongoing process
It's not going good.
of learning and adapting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, branding is an ongoing conversation
Mm-hmm.
between a company and its audience. It's
Yeah.
about building a relationship,
Yeah.
nurturing it over time. And this brings us to one of the most powerful aspects of branding, I think,
Okay.
the emotional connection.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking. I've always been fascinated by how brands can,
Yeah.
tap into our emotions to create those diehard fans.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this paper, it talks about how brands can evoke emotions
Mm-hmm.
through storytelling, visuals, and even experiences.
So it's not just about the features or benefits of a product.
No,
It's about creating a feeling and aspiration.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
think about those heartwarming commercials
Right.
that make you tear up,
Right.
or the inspiring tagline that
Yeah.
makes you feel invincible. They're not just selling a product;
Right.
they're selling a feeling.
Yeah. And we buy into that.
We do.
Yeah.
We really do. Those emotional ties are powerful.
Yeah.
They lead to loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
advocacy,
Yeah.
even a willingness to pay a premium.
Right.
It's about tapping into our human need for connection and belonging.
It's like finding your tribe,
Yeah.
but in the marketplace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're drawn to brands that reflect our values,
Mm-hmm.
our aspirations, even our sense of identity.
Right. So successful brands understand this and they create these experiences that resonate
They do. They get it.
on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And that's what makes branding so powerful.
Yeah.
It's not just about logos and taglines. It's about understanding human psychology
Mm-hmm.
and creating connections that matter.
Okay. So we've gone, I mean, this has been mind-blowing. We've gone from the basics of what branding is
Yeah.
to, to its power to evoke emotions,
Yeah.
to build lasting relationships.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's quite a journey.
What a journey. Okay. But there's one more crucial aspect I think we need to explore.
Yeah.
The ethical considerations
Ooh, yes.
of branding.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So are you ready to dive into that?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, so we're back and ready to tackle the ethics of branding. This is where things get really interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about how powerful branding can be, how it can influence emotions, build loyalty. But you know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility.
That's right. That's right. So this paper doesn't really go into this too deeply,
Yeah.
but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Like, what are some of the ethical considerations that come into play when we're talking about branding?
Well, for starters, there's the issue of manipulation.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
brands can use these emotional triggers to influence our purchasing decisions,
Right.
even if those decisions aren't really truly in our best interest.
Right. Right. It's like, are we buying things that we actually need,
Yeah,
or are we just being cleverly persuaded?
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, think
Uh,
about those ads that kind of prey on our insecurities
right.
or aspirations.
Mhm.
You know, they tap into our deepest desires and fears, sometimes without us even realizing it.
Right. Yeah. That's a little unsettling when you think about it.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
how much of our decision making is really our own?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's about being more informed
Yeah.
as a consumer.
I think so. Yeah. Being more discerning.
Yeah.
Don't just buy into the hype. Think critically.
Yeah.
But what's being presented to you.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
Another ethical consideration is representation.
Okay.
Who is being represented in branding and who's being excluded. Are brands perpetuating stereotypes
Oh, okay.
or promoting unrealistic beauty standards? You know, we really need to look beyond the surface here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about the broader impact, I guess,
It is.
of
Yeah.
of branding, right? Like, are brands helping to create a more, inclusive and equitable society?
Right.
Or are they, kind of reinforcing existing inequalities?
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
we need to hold brands accountable
Right.
for the messages they're sending, the values they're promoting. Are they using their platform to amplify diverse voices and perspectives,
Right?
or are they just catering to a narrow demographic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we were saying before, right?
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
That's right.
And I think brands have a responsibility to use their influence for good.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And finally, there's the question of sustainability.
Oh, wow, right?
Are brands promoting environmentally responsible practices, or are they contributing to waste and pollution?
Right. Yeah, that's huge.
It is. It's a big one.
Yeah. And it's not just about the product itself, right? It's the whole supply chain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Are brands transparent about their sourcing and manufacturing processes?
Yeah.
Are they taking steps to reduce their carbon footprint and minimize their environmental impact?
Right. These are all important questions to consider. It's not just about, buying the coolest product. It's about supporting brands that align with our values,
Yeah.
that are doing good things in the world.
Absolutely. And as consumers, we have the power to vote with our wallets
That's right.
and to support brands that are doing things the right way. This has been a great conversation.
This has been incredible.
Mm.
This deep dive has been awesome.
We've explored so much, the psychology behind branding,
Yeah.
the ethical considerations.
Yeah. It's amazing how much goes into it when you really start to think about it.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating world.
Yeah. So next time you see a flashy ad or a cool new product or something,
Yeah,
take a moment, think about the message behind it.
that's right.
What are they really selling?
Yeah, good question.
What values are they promoting? And most importantly, does it align with your own values?
That's right. Great questions to ask yourself. I hope this encouraged listeners to be more mindful
Yeah, me too.
of
Yeah.
the brands they interact with and make those conscious choices that align with their values.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.